Hi everybody, hope all of you are doing fine. The suspension of the IPL is certainly a disappointment for all the cricket and IPL fans, but this call was probably a need of the hour. Now this is the question that arises in front of us. Why did the BCCI organize such a mega event despite the COVID-19 cases surging every day? Was it just for the sake of cricket? Well, not really. Don't forget this friends, the IPL is a business first and cricket later. And today I'm back with a different but even more exciting topic. That is the business that revolves around these sports leagues. Whether it is the NFL or the NBA in the United States, the English Premier League in the United Kingdom, or whether it's the IPL here in India. Let's get to business now. Attracting their customers is essential for any business, and so is for these sports leagues. While most of us feel that the viewers or the audience are the target customers of these leagues, the real clients are the sponsors. Well, every sports league has franchises, and these leagues are proving to be a big success for the franchise owners. In the NFL, for example, 28 teams are valued for over $2 billion totally. How is it that these teams are valued so much? Let's dig deep into this business. When a franchise is founded, owners have to pay something known as the franchise fee. When the IPL started back in 2008, the BCCI sold the 8 teams for a total of $723.59 million. And the Mumbai franchise, which is the Mumbai Indians, was sold to the Reliance Industries Limited for $111.9 million, making it the most expensive team to be sold in the league. However, the price for each team was payable over a period of 10 years as an annual fee, and when team owners changed, the balance was payable by the new owners. In the NFL, the most recent sales of teams have been in the billion-dollar range. In 2018, the Carolina Panthers were bought for a record $2.2 billion. So what kind of returns are teams getting on these massive investments? Sponsorship deals make a significant part of the revenue for most teams. Recently, Manchester United, the Red Devils of the Premier League, secured the biggest sponsorship deal of any sports team in the world during the continuing COVID-19 global pandemic. The club signed a new 5-year deal with the German-based computer software company TeamViewer to replace Chevrolet as their principal shirt sponsor from the start of the 2021-22 season. The deal is believed to be worth £47 million, that is $65 million each season, a total of $326 million over the next 5 years. This most lucrative Premier League deal is the second most expensive in world football, following Fly Emirates' deal with Real Madrid. Apart from placing company logos on jerseys, teams raise revenue in other ways as well. The revenue generated from the sale of tickets and food and beverages in the stadiums add to the revenue of the home team owners. In the NFL, as the stadiums are owned by the home teams, renting out the stadium for non-NFL events such as concerts or renting out retail space in the stadium are additional revenue for the home team. Moreover, the ownership of the stadiums allow NFL teams to lend the sole naming rights of the stadiums to corporates. The New York Giants and the New York Jets stadium, which is called the MetLife Stadium, had an asking price of $19 million a year, according to the New York Times, for a total of 25 years, and that remains one of the highest naming rights deals in the NFL. The big bucks that a franchise generates on its own is known as the local revenue. At the end of FY19, the Chennai Super Kings made nearly $57 million in revenue. But a lot of the total income was not generated by the team itself. In fact, it came directly from the IPL and is known as the national revenue. This revenue may comprise of sponsorship, merchandise sales, and TV deals. In the English Premier League, 50% of the domestic TV rights is shared equally among the 20 clubs. 25% is allocated to merit fees. This is determined by the club's position on the points table at the end of the league. The other 25% is allocated to facility fees. This varies on how often the games are shown on TV. The international TV rights is shared equally among all clubs, but from the 2019-2020 season, any increase would be distributed based on the club's position in the league. These broadcasting rights make a huge contribution to the revenue of these leagues. Take the IPL for example. When the league started in 2008, it issued the broadcasting rights to the consortium of India's Sony television network and the Singapore-based World Sports Group. Under the terms of the 10-year deal, the World Sports Group paid the IPL approximately $1 million per match in its first year for the rights. The overall value of the 10-year deal was $918 million. When the deal expired in 2017, bids came from around the world for the exclusive broadcasting rights of the Indian Premier League. The IPL sold the rights in packages for domestic television, domestic digital, and international rights. Although Sony held the highest bid for domestic television and Facebook had made a $600 million bid for domestic digital rights, it was Fox who made bids in all three categories. Fox acquired the global broadcasting rights under the 5-year contract beginning in 2018 for $2.55 billion. It was a 158% increase over the previous deal and the most expensive broadcast rights deal in the history of cricket. According to the ESPN, the price per match leaped from $1 million in 2008 to $8.47 million in 2018. To compare, the NFL price per game is $22.5 million. The English Premier League is $13.2 million. The NBA is nearly $2 million and the MLB is just $630,000. 2 years after Fox secured the deal, Disney closed a $71 billion deal for Fox Entertainment's assets. And one of the assets it now owns is Hotstar, the Indian video streaming platform. In the 2019 IPL final, Hotstar created a global record for the most number of concurrent viewers in a live streaming event. There were 18.6 million viewers watching that final between the Mumbai Indians and the Chennai Super Kings. And with that kind of viewership, there are global bidding wars for the naming rights of these leagues. When the league started in 2008, DLF secured the title sponsorship with a bid of $28 million for 5 seasons. After the conclusion of the 2012 season, PepsiCo bought the title sponsorship rights for $56 million for the subsequent 5 seasons. However, the company terminated the deal in October 2015, 2 years before the expiry of the contract. The BCCI then transferred the title sponsorship rights for the remaining 2 seasons of the contract to Chinese smartphone manufacturer Vivo for $28 million. In June 2017, Vivo retained the rights for the next 5 seasons with a winning bid of $310 million in a deal more expensive than Barclays Premier League title sponsorship contract between 2013 and 2016. Apart from the title sponsorship, the massive viewership attracts advertisements as well. In the 2018 IPL season, the league generated over $276 million in ad revenue. In the NFL, the Super Bowl, which has served as the final game of the championship, is the most watched TV program annually in America. With that kind of viewership, networks command ever-increasing ad rates for 30 and 60-second commercials. For the Super Bowl of the 2017 season, NBC charged $5 million for a 30-second commercial spot and exceeded $1.4 billion in ad revenue. The massive viewership and ad revenue allow the networks to pay for TV rights of these leagues. Players have been benefiting from the success of these leagues as well, along with the numerous awards they receive. After IPL's deal with Fox, the average salary of players has climbed from $3.9 million to just over $5 million. In fact, these leagues can make significant contribution to their nation's GDP as well. According to the data provided by the BCCI, the Indian Premier League contributed nearly $160 million to India's GDP in 2015. These leagues are continuing to thrive and most have seen a jump in their valuations. The IPL's brand value, for instance, rose from $3.2 billion in 2014 to $6.3 billion in 2018. And the excitement for these leagues is likely to rise in the future as they continue to spark interest globally. These leagues have no doubt been revolutionary for the sports industry, making the industry a giant moneymaker. That's it from my end, folks. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please do like, share, subscribe, and impart your views. Stay home, stay safe, and goodbye until next time.